And welcome back, guys, to the Spacey Tropics Review channel, where we try to review just a little bit of everything. I realize I never usually say my name in these things, so it's Animal, A-N-I-M-A-L. It's kind of close to my actual name, Unmol, A-N-M-O-L, so a lot of people usually call me Animal. You guys can call me Animal. Make it nice and simple. So, today, as you can clearly see in my hand right here, I have the JBL FLIP 5. We're going to go over some details, a little bit of specs, a little bit of this, that, and the sound test that everybody loves, as well as my overall verdict. So, without further ado, let's get into the JBL FLIP 5 review. So, I'm going to do things a little bit differently with this video. I'm going to give you guys a sound test first, just to get that out the way instead of me saying, hey, I skipped to such and such for the sound test. So I'm going to give you a sound test first. And then we'll go into some of it. For those of you who want to stick around and know some of the details, some of the specs, and the rest of it, cool. That'll be right after the sound test. You'll get my final verdict from there as well. So, disclaimer with the sound test. I personally make all this music by myself on GarageBand, on the iPad, or on my iMac now. I don't want no copyright infringement. That's why I make my own tracks. So you can't find them on SoundCloud, here, there, or whatever. It's strictly just my tracks. So I'm going to play it for you at 50% and then raise it up to about 80% volume. And you guys be the judge. Alrighty, stop that. We'll go to song number 2. We'll start it up at 80%. Give you a little taste of 50%. Alright, that's about it for the sound test. Let's go into the actual design of the Flip 5. Rugged is the best word I can use to describe this thing. The mesh is nice and strong, a little bit little bit give right here in the center by the JBL logo, but nothing too concerning. Right here, the IP rating for this is an IPX7, so dust and water resistant. I believe that is 2 meters, 30 minutes. 2 meters of underwater for 30 minutes, and it's dust resistant, etc. It should be able to take a couple of splashes of salt water too. Not too sure how it handles salt water, but should be able to take a few splashes here and there if you take it to the beach. The rubber borders are actually almost thick enough to where I believe that it could withstand a couple of drops, maybe a couple of 3-4 foot drops. I'm not advertising to drop it, but just in case, it can survive those kind of drops. I haven't really seen any type of drop testing from JBL, but it's solid enough to be able to take a few slight drops. Buttons on the Flip 5 are nice and tactile, from the play button, the volume up, volume down button, as well as the JBL Party Boost button. More on Party Boost in a bit. I love the nice raised tactile feel of these. I wish I could say the same about the power and Bluetooth button, however. You're gonna have to feel your way through if you're trying to turn it on. I mean, it's not that much of a deal breaker. It's not even a deal breaker at all. You're just gonna have to look in the back and hit power on, power off, Bluetooth to pair, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. It really isn't that big of a deal. But I would have liked if it had some type of tactility or some type of raisedness, like the top 4 buttons over here for the play, pause, etc. Also, you should be able to use the play pause button as a multi-function button. Double tap to go forward, triple tap, I believe, to go back. Looking at the back of this thing, nice little Flip 5 branding. Again, you have your power and Bluetooth button. You have this LED bar here now instead of the actual 5 dots that used to flank the old Flip 4. I wish it was the 5 dots still. I mean, because when you put it to charge, it still flashes in a dot format. I don't know. Maybe it just looks aesthetically pleasing, I guess, compared to the previous version. But also in the back, gone are the days of micro USB. JBL is now slowly phasing most of their speakers, if not all, as soon as possible, into USB Type-C. Now, I know some people might be a little bit afraid that there's no flap covering the Type-C port back here, especially if you drop it in some water or you happen to take it to the beach and some sand gets in there. But JBL has said that there is nothing to worry about, that everything around this port is sealed, that if water gets in, just give it some time to dry, it'll be just fine. Or if some sand gets in, dust it out, you'll be okay. Now for the specs of the Flip 5. What you're looking at here is, like I said before, a 12-hour battery life. Now that 12-hour may vary. It could also be 8 to 10 hours depending on the volume that you play your music at. So I'd say anywhere from 50 to 60%. You'll be averaging closer to that 12-hour mark. However, if you're blasting this at about 85% all day throughout the day, expect maybe around 7 to 9 hours of the battery life, just going around blasting it at about 85% volume wherever you are. What really tripped me up about this speaker is the fact that JBL, it's even on the box, it's listed on the box, JBL claims that it has 20 watts RMS power. Which means this thing should have 40 watts peak power, which to me is a little insane. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how much I believe those numbers, but I will say this: the speaker is really loud. It does get very loud, and you know what? If it really is 20 watts RMS, 40 watts peak, then yeah, all right, great job, JBL. This thing is pretty decently loud, and when you take it outside, actually sounds pretty good. Now, quick disclaimer, in speaker videos before, I know some people have addressed me saying, why don't you record on a binaural microphone? Why are you only talking about watts? Watts aren't everything. You're right. Watts aren't everything. Watts just judges the loudness of the speaker. For example, if you have something from Bang & Olufsen versus this, let's say the Bang & Olufsen has about 10 watts RMS, 20 watts peak power, and the Flip 5 here has 20 watts RMS, 40 watts peak power. Inside, the Bang & Olufsen will probably sound superb, right? It'll sound great, nice, warm depth to the sound. Pretty much what you expect from Bang & Olufsen. Now, the Flip 5, on the other hand, will sound pretty good, it'll sound decent, but it's going to be a lot louder. That's the only difference. Louder versus clearer sounding. But now when you take it outside, it's a whole different story. Let's say for Hudson River Park, for example, you take it there and you're starting to play music from the Bang & Olufsen, and you're like, yeah, this is cool and all, and somebody whips out a Flip 5 and it's much louder, trust me. This is going to sound better outdoors than it would indoors because of that extra power, that extra oomph. Like again, like I said, Hudson River Park, for example, there's dogs barking, kids playing, lots of people riding their bikes up and down, people talking, conversing, running, jogging, helicopters flying by back and forth. You get my point. It's going to be a little loud, okay? This, no problem. Carry it around with you, you'll definitely hear it. And the other point that I don't record on a binaural microphone, you see it in almost every speaker video out there, where the disclaimer is you have to go and test the speaker yourself. The binaural microphone, even with the binaural microphone, audio doesn't transfer as cleanly or as precisely over the mic than it would if you would listen in person to see how it sounds. Now, I'll tell you this, testing it in echoey places, testing it in close places with a bunch of foam and this, that, and third, it all depends. Not everybody has that in their house. When they get the speaker, they expect to hear the same sound they hear over the video, and that sometimes isn't the case. That's why I don't record on a binaural microphone. I rather just record on my Zoom H1 and tell you guys that if you really, really want to hear what it sounds like, go test it in person. Go to a Best Buy, go to any electronics store, test it in person, and see if you really like it. I'm just telling you my overall opinion. That's really it. And the mic is going to give you as much clarity as it possibly can give. Or, well, the recorder at least. At the end of the day, the choice is yours. The money is yours. You got to choose how you want to spend it, how you want to do it. I'm just giving you my opinion. Go test it in person just in case. Just in case, to be extra, extra sure before you drop the money for this thing. I would talk about the Bluetooth, but the Bluetooth is more of a con for me than it is anything to talk about, so I'll go into the cons in a bit. Other than that, those are some of the more major specs that some people are looking for. If you have any other specific questions, comment down below. I'll try to answer them as briefly but as informative as possible. Now, let's get into some of the cons. And there's 3 cons for me. There's JBL Party Boost, there is the Bluetooth version, and then there is the speaker arrangement. JBL Party Boost, I don't have a problem with the hardware at all. It's not the hardware. It's what JBL continued to do every single time. They had Connect, they got rid of Connect for Connect Plus. You can't use the 2 speakers together. Then now they're getting rid of Connect Plus for Party Boost, and you can't use Party Boost and Connect Plus speakers at all together. I don't like that. I don't like the idea of that. Every single time this has to change. Why JBL? Why does it have to change? I know technology is getting up there, but keep it consistent and just enhance the main one. Connect Plus was doing pretty well. I don't understand what Party Boost is needed for, but so be it. Bluetooth version. This still has Bluetooth 4.2. Now I can see that maybe Bluetooth 4.2 works better with Party Boost than connecting multiple JBL speakers together. But come on, JBL. The time is moving on rapidly, and Bluetooth 5 is a thing. My iPhone has Bluetooth 5. Plenty of other Android phones, other iPhones have Bluetooth 5. Some headphones have Bluetooth 5 now. Even some of the cheaper ones, like some Tautronic headphones, for example, they have Bluetooth 5 or claim they have Bluetooth 5. JBL, you're a reputable company. Upgrade the Bluetooth, please. And the last con for me is speaker arrangement. Now, if you're looking at it to the right, there's only one little transducer here. There's only one little speaker right here. It's not stereo anymore. It's a mono setup. JBL, Harman Kardon, I don't know where you're coming up with this whole mono thing. Yeah, it sounds good from afar, but when you get up close, you're actually hearing only music coming from the right, and that sounds weird. It feels weird. Unless you're wanting me to stand up the speaker like this every time I'm home, which I'm not going to do. I'm going to lay it down like this. Why the mono? I don't understand why mono. Most, if not all, songs that come out have some type of background stereo sound to them, and you're going to give a mono speaker. Doesn't make sense to me. Go back to the stereo setup, please. Alright, so final thoughts. So at the beginning, you have heard what this sounds like. You've heard my overall thoughts of the design, the specs, my cons to it. Overall, the JBL Flip 5 is still a go. It's still a win. It's still a pretty damn good speaker to enhance the Flip series, if you want to call it that. This speaker is 100% a companion. You are definitely going to try and remember to take this everywhere you go. Overall, I'm going to give this speaker a 4.4 out of 5. The Bluetooth and stuff, that's what brings the score down. But 4.4 is still a pretty good score for how loud this thing gets, for how decent it actually sounds, for the battery life you get, and the overall ruggedness that you get from this speaker. Love it. Just love it. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully my videos are starting to look a little bit better. I got some new box lights and I'm trying to do some stuff here. I know you see the Princess Jasmine and stuff in the back. I'm just using my fiance's desk in the meantime because my desk is an absolute mess since I'm working from home and trying to do YouTube at the same time. So I'm trying to clean that up and fix that up. In the meantime, I'm using my fiance's desk. That's why you see all this stuff behind me with the little flowers and the jasmine, whatever. But push come to shove. Hope the videos are starting to look a little bit nicer, a little bit better, a little bit brighter, you know. I'm trying to work on it. I'm trying to give you guys better content as best as possibly can. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video. You never know when somebody might need some more information on the JBL Flip 5. This channel is currently on the road to 1,000 subs. It's going to break that threshold. I cannot wait. Thank you guys so... Well, I'll put this down. Thank you guys so much for subscribing to the Spacey Tropics YouTube channel. I can't thank you enough. I can't give back enough, even if I can give back right now. I can't tell you. I can't tell you how amazing you guys are and how awesome this channel is going to be, or how awesome I see this channel going to be later on in the future. Anyways, thanks again guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this review. I'll catch you guys in the next one.